warmest welcome to Manuel Marsol and to César Sánchez. So we have the illustrator and one of the three publishers of the book that was awarded with the BolognaRagazzi Award for the special category cinema. The book is Museum, and the script, let's say, is by Javier Sáez Castán. And we have a beautiful collaboration among three publishers that create also a connection among three countries. So we have César Sánchez, who is the editorial director of Fulgencio Pimentel from Spain, and the other two publishers are Orfeu Negro from Portugal, and Orecchio Acerbo from Italy. So three publishers and two authors for this wonderful book. The jury found a great amount of cinema in this book. Even if you look at it at a first glance, you probably recognize the references to history of art as a first thing, and this very dreamful and surreal atmosphere with quotations by great artists that you can recognize, like Hopper, like Magritte, of course, like Georgia O'Keeffe. But then if you get into the book, you see also at another level that there is a very cinematic use of the images and composition and construction. So this was what the jury saw in this book. So for example, the technique of shot and shot reverse, and many other also quotations. There is a house from the movie Psycho, and so many quotations, and also a complex atmosphere that is full of cinema. I would start with asking to Manuel Marsol to tell us a little bit about the process, the creative process of the book, even because you worked on the script by another accomplished writer. And before asking you this question, I would like to say, where are you now, Manuel?
I'm at home, of course, like everybody, in Madrid. I live in Madrid, and yeah.
Okay, how are you living these days? What are you doing these days of lockdown?
Well, if any illustrator or even freelance is watching this, they will admit, like me, that we are a bit trained now on this situation. The way we used to work and to live, it's quite similar, no? We stay home a lot of time. Sometimes we are a bit isolated. I feel like we had a good preparation. If we want to take it a bit in a funny way, no? Of course, it's difficult, but my life is not that different. I don't play football. I don't see my friends, my family, but for the rest, it's more or less the same. Reading, watching movies, drawing, writing.
Okay, your favorite things are home. I see. So you say watching movies and of course drawings and illustrating. So art history is in your life, is in your work, and is in your family also. So going back to your book, how was the process of illustrating this wordless book?
Well, as you said, the author or the guy who did the script is Javier Sáez Castán, which is a picture book maker. He's both illustrator and writer. That means that he had a small mock-up, which I have here. I can show it to you. This was made by Javier in 2004, so almost like 15 years ago. And well, he has a lot of material like this. He has plenty of ideas, and he has no time to develop all of them in his lifetime, no? And well, I admire his work when I started, and I had luckily me, he also liked my work, and one day he asked me to go to his studio and to see the material that he had. So he showed me a lot of projects, and we took this one and we started with this, which was completely the storyboard was completely made by him. So my task was to work on that script, which was almost finished, but he said that he didn't want to draw it and he wanted me to do it, and of course I felt honored. You can see, I will show you only just for you to have an idea how finished it was. You can see this. I don't know if you are able to see this.
I see a little bit. I see, yes, I see something. I see the hill. I saw the house of the hill.
And this is the final work I did, which is really.
Yes, so the composition was his. This is interesting.
Exactly. It's like a storyboard finished, and I only had to be like a kind of art director with my skills, but the plot, the shots, the angles. Of course, then we had a lot of conversations about which paintings could be inside the museum, and there was some creativity on that sense. But it was a very strange collaboration and really, really enjoyable for me.
It's very interesting, and it's also a process that is more common in effect in the industry of movie.
Yeah,
no?
Exactly.
The collective process. This is very
usual. Normally, well, if you work with another writer, he gives you a text, no, but not the whole thing almost done. So it's a strange collaboration.
Sure, and in this collective process, there is also the fundamental participation, let's say, of the publisher. That in this case is the publishers. So I would like to ask to César Sánchez, how did it come to do a book in 3 publishers? And before the question, where are you and how are you living this situation, César?
I'm in Logroño, in La Rioja, in the north of Spain. And I can agree with Manuel about my situation also, because I'm pretty used to be hidden in my cave, working just like here. This is not my house. I've been lucky to keep coming to my office every day. And I'm even luckier because we were moving, my family and me, when all these things started, and we were spending a few days in a country house. So we're still in that country house. We have a garden, some trees, and our dog is running all over the place. So my kids and me, we are really happy to be there. So it's
great.
been
Garden and library, it's a perfect combination, we know.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we need. And how did it come to create this project with 3 publishers? How did it work?
It was very fluent. Everything came. I mean, this is probably one of the easiest books we've ever worked with, because everything came from Manuel and Javier. Like they were the link among publishers. We were, of course, speaking with Fausta and Germana from Orecchio and Carla from Orfeu, but there were only a few details about the cover, maybe the size, but everything was so completely engaged by Manuel and Javier that and we could only agree, and it was easy to agree, of course.
And when did the project start? I mean, Javier and Manuel came to you. Where was it, and how did it work? Like, did you meet or did you talk by email?
We talk. Manuel and me, we are really good friends, and we talk very often. We've been speaking on the phone this morning, for instance, about many issues, and he came with the project. It was a surprise this time. I'm mostly very aware about what he's working on, but this time it was I think it was a surprise, right, Manuel? Like you came with this. Okay, here's this.
Yeah. What I said before, because it wasn't something that it came straightforwardly like from me, and also because I had to change my style in some way. I think César from Fulgencio is more. He was more used to another kind of graphic style, and I think that you can still find myself, of course, in this work, because it's impossible. If I do it, it's mine. But it is true that as it's based on another conception from another artist, it's a different thing, no? But all came because we authors, we need to find new formulas of making this a bit profitable. The print runs are very small, and Javi and me, we thought that if we have a good relation with these publishers, which we like, maybe it was time to gather them in a small group and do a co-printing project. They would save some costs, I guess, with printing, and we will make it more profitable for us, gathering other publishers and keeping the rights. It's a formula that we wanted to try.
It definitely worked, I think. And with Manuel Marsol, we met many times in Bologna, and now I am very happy that I can be with you also in this virtual room. And I remember in 2017 when Manuel Marsol was awarded with the 8th International Prize for Illustration, Bologna Children's Book Fair, and Fondazione SEM. That was an important recognition also, and I would like to know from you, Manuel, how and if your life changed after that award, that prize.
Well, I would say it changed mainly inside myself, like in the perception of myself and things like that. Of course, it was a great recognition. But I would say the big change is in oneself, and it makes things even more difficult because you push yourself very hard with that. It feels like you have to do something really amazing, no? And it was not easy to deal with that. You know, authors, sometimes we are very insecure, and it was a gift, but it was also a challenge.
Yes. I can imagine that, a responsibility. You said it very clearly. I see what you mean. And well, I will go a little bit into the pages of this wonderful book, so into museum. I said surreal, I said dreamful. Of course, those are the words that come as a first thing. But maybe I would like to know from César, how would you describe it? What did you see in it? What do you think it's so strong about it? Yes.
Well, there's a few things here. Like, first of all, I quickly saw that Manuel was a bit more, how would you say, controlled. Like he's often like thrown to the art and putting details, small details and complex narratives in between things. And this book is full of that too. Like there are few details here and there that you don't really see at first that would take you to another levels of reading. But the thing is that he's much more controlled, like the character, the atmosphere, like and probably the kind of collaboration with Javier like turned him into something more, how would you say that in English, Manuel? I don't know, but the thing is that I think Manuel,
I understand what you mean. Control could be a good,
but eventually you came over that again with the color, like the reds, the oranges, blues and greens, really strong primary colors are again here. The most obvious thing would be that you would use some gray palette, like something more, you know, European and everything. But there's a Californian sense here, like these blue skies and.
Yeah, that's related with movies also, I think, no? With Technicolor, with the colors of Vertigo by Hitchcock.
Yeah, that's it. I was going to say that, like, there's this Psycho house, but the Vertigo palette, right? And then there's some important things here in another sense, like this, the cover art is the same at first glance as this first page. But there's a frame here, and everything, I think it's about this frame. Like the windows of the house are also frames. What we see from the inside of the outside, it becomes something different. And everything in the book is this kind of game about reading levels and reality and fantasy. And this is why I think it's an. Sorry.
No, even the object itself.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they say.
You have a small painting in your hands.
I told them that, well, it can be a bit bigger. Why do you want it this size? They say, no, it has to be this size because this is a perfect square with 20 millimeters.
2020. This is Javier's mind, which is kind of a scientific artist. He really had everything. For example, the number of pages are 49, which is 7/7. It's a big square. If you put all the paintings all together, they build a big square, perfect square. There are some hidden messages related with the structure of the book.
This is fantastic. And can you tell us one of those little secrets that the others we will discover reading and rereading?
Well, I don't know if there is something with the eye. There is a thing that was something I introduced myself, which was it's a story that comes from Javi, and it's about perception. No, it's about how we look things, how we see things, and I put the eye. I took the eye element, our eyes, and I give it a big position in the book. For instance, this image was not this.
The cover. You mean the cover? Yes.
Was not conceived by Javi. This came through a conversation that we had. It's based on a painting by Hopper. Hopper did this painting of his wife, Joe in Wyoming is called. It's a watercolor painting. It's very, very beautiful, and he did it from behind. And this was an idea that came, and then the idea of eyes. No, you see the eye on the mirror of the car. And there are eyes hidden in some way everywhere. No, if you see the. Yes,
there are eyes hidden everywhere. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Also here, you see the eyes, and well, all the museum is looking at you all the time, no, with this magazine.
Yes. I think that is a sort of a magic box. This book. And I think there are many references, and I want to say that I appreciated also the appendix that you put in the book with the actual references. So the drawing, the painting by Edward Hopper with all the information. I think this is very interesting, but it's also very cinematic too. It's like the title at the end of the movie is like hidden characters. that were there or were recalled from the images. So I think the magic of this book is something that you can discover each time you read it. And it's also the power of wordless book that is cinematic in itself, and that as a complex crossing of references with other texts, as it always happens, and some more. So I want to go to closing our meeting with the just one very quick last question. So how was for you to receive this award? So your first reaction when you knew about the award? And from both, and also I would like to ask also to César if after the award you had more connection, or you sold already the book somewhere else.
Well, yeah, there was a much more interest from based on the award from other countries and everything. And our first reaction was just, we wanted to celebrate. We were in different cities. I remember some kind of, you have some champagne at home or something like that. It was something like that. And we're really easy celebrators of things. We're always looking for
very wise.
It's
a very wise thing to do. It's very wise. Thank you, César. And Manuel?
Well, I was very happy for Javier especially, because yeah, it's always a good recognition. He never spent much time doing marketing for himself, and he put all his strength on his works and his books. And I was happy for me, but mainly happy for Javi, which is,
great,
in my opinion, one of the best picture book makers.
Great. So send him our congratulations, of course. And I have to say, we were not in Bologna, but we were virtually in Bologna. So from Bologna, I send you my best greetings. Thank you for being with me and with us today, and we keep connected. Thank you.
Thank you very much.